Hey guys, something major just happened. That's why I'm making a video. And it looks like ISWA might be gonna be shut down for a while, but too early to tell. Here's what happened. We got a major event. You can watch the time lapse up here. Wow. All of a sudden at 23:20 UTC, something hit. Darn it. This is the Geospace model, getting the ISWA data that we normally see on ISWA. There's the Y cut, equatorial plane looking straight across the planet. There's the Z cut looking down upon the planet. Right around 2320 minutes UTC, which would be what, 5 hours less than that. So that's 18, so like about 6:20 Eastern Standard Time. So it wasn't long ago. This is what happened. Something major came through and splashed out our bow shock well past 20 Earth radii, and the normal Earth radii is 10. So it's sitting about 10 right now. This is on the density. You can see a big wave hit of density. I'll try to show it to you on the velocity here. This thing cooperates. Here it is on the velocity. So you see the velocity is running a little bit lower than it was the last video I made. Remember, the oranges were darker. Here it comes. Splash. That's a big splash. And here it is on the pressure. Here it comes. Pretty much just blew up all the pressure. So I don't know what the heck this is exactly, but I went back and pulled up Discover. This is the last 6 hours. So that event occurred on our magnetopause bow shock around 23:20, and at 22:20, now I've never seen this before, the BZ and the BT magnetic components, and these both are measurements of magnetic angles of fields coming from the sun. I know that if this red one, the BZ, gets below 0, that's when we're supposed to see more auroras. And I tried to figure out what the heck these things are, but I was unable to really come up with too much. But one thing I do know, if you look at these numbers here, the first number would be I'm assuming the BZ 4.0, or no, 4.0 is the BT, so that's like up around 5. Then the second number would be the 0.3, which is, or minus 0.02, which is the BZ. But all of a sudden at 22:19, there it happened there at 22:21. They both became the same angle, same number. Now I've never seen this happen before. Normally they stay spread out, sort of like in this fashion. So this continued for, or they were pretty much hooked together for about 28 minutes there. Okay, we just got an update. Now they're starting to spread out again. Now, this here is up at the L1 Lagrange point, 930,000 miles in front of the planet. This Discover satellite, and the ACE is up there as well. They're up there to give us early warning from extra normal solar winds that might damage the satellites so they can power them down or whatever. And so they get between 15 minutes and an hour warning. So that would make about sense, because about an hour later at 23:20, 21, almost exactly an hour later, that's when this thing happened to the bow shock. Here it comes, 23:20. See what I'm talking about? And that's the end of that run. Now, unfortunately, ISWA stopped their run at 23:30. Well, really, it should pick up what we just saw on. So there it is there, which is not as dramatic, showing up as dramatically on this computer simulation as it did on the Geospace, but they're both getting the same data from these same satellites that are orbiting the planet at this 22,236 mile geosynchronous orbit. You can see them going around there. And then there's the representations for them. So you can see we still got a whole bunch of energy building up behind the planet. And the magnetopause is getting squirreled around from time to time. So I'll let this run through just so you can watch it. But look at all the energy. These two are synced, these two Fock radiation belts. This is when atoms start to get ionized at 100,000 electron volts. And at 4 million, that indicates the presence of another star to produce that 4 million electron volts. And that's been pretty consistent. But thankfully, from my research, even though we're going to see purple skies, which will be ionized nitrogen, and I made a video on that on 11/3, and I think the day prior I was on, about the week prior, I was doing ionized videos on the ionized radiation. But best I can determine was the purple skies are ionized nitrogen, but they're way up in the upper levels of our atmosphere, so it's not really getting to the planet, this gamma radiation, because this is serious stuff. Gamma radiation occurs when atoms start getting ionized, when electrons start getting sheared off of atoms at 100,000 electron volts, and at 4 million, you can just imagine the energy involved there. That's serious gamma radiation, but our atmosphere pretty much protects us. So let's watch this one at 23. There's 23:19. That's 1 minute before the sploosh on. And you can see it here, I guess. It showed up bigger on Geospace, but it's showing up pretty good there. But unfortunately, the run ended. And this, I can't get the Z-cut to load for whatever reason. That's where we'd get our solar wind speed. I think it's just a glitch. I don't think it's anything done on purpose there. And we pulled up ACE. Same deal there. Well, there's 24 hours. So you can see how they run pretty much separated. Never seen them get that far. Run thing, you don't usually see the BZ get that far above. I guess maybe, but you don't see them connect, and they connected for that short period of time, that 1 hour, and that's when we got that big sploosh on Geospace. Show it to you again here, if it'll let me drag this thing through. There it is. Wow. There's crazy stuff. So all this density and energy, normally the bow shock's out around 10. Well, you can see it's actually pushed out beyond 10 with the density. And the density, apparently the density that came in was lower, wasn't real high density, but it showed up. So you can see the bow shock there. See the bow shock? And that's running right around 15 maybe. Then when this wave of density hits at 2320, then the bow shock displaced it and pushed it way out, well beyond, I'd say probably out close to 30 Earth radii maybe. So anyway, I just thought this was noteworthy and worth a video. Here it is on the velocity. There it is, see, 2320 UTC, sploosh. And then the pressure went way down for a minute inside the magneto sphere and the magnetopause. I'm not seeing a much as dramatic effect here. So I don't know, I just thought that was worth sharing, especially because of these two components getting exactly running together for about an hour. 22:49, well actually only 29 minutes. They ran exactly together pretty much. They were intertwined. And I don't think that's supposed to happen, guys. And the connection's still been running pretty steady, right around 180 or thereabouts. For some reason, and that's, yeah, it's showing still up on there. We're getting like a gap here, 21 to 22. And it's a data gap. This is the ACE ground tracking plots. Pulled it up so you can see there's the gap there. There's a little one there on the 48-hour. Just looks smaller because it's a 48-hour plot versus a 6-hour. And here's Discover's ground tracking plot for the last 7 days. The biggest gap we had was here back on the 29th. And if you enlarge the screen down here, you might be able to read these numbers, but it shows 12:29 at 22:59 UTC to 12:30 0156. So close to a 3-hour gap there. That's been the biggest gap. That's 40 minutes, 38 minutes. That one's 1 hour and 33 minutes. So there's some small gaps in there. These are less than an hour. And then the one today, gapping out from 22:10 UTC to 23:40, so that's like an hour and a half gap. And here's MLSO for today. Came up. Looks like it hasn't been scrubbed yet, so we're getting some stuff flying through. We're getting about 36 images. I'm letting them run through at full speed. Those gaps you see on ACE and Discover, data gaps, probably are being affected by some of these objects perhaps that are blocking the data relay transfer from the satellite out here at the L1 Lagrange point, 930,000 miles, and these other objects are somewhere in between. So they're probably most likely the culprits blocking the data transfer. So let's hope this one stays up and the BZ and the BZ starting to separate again. So maybe it's not a big deal, but I thought this was pretty cool looking, and that's why I brought it to you. Something you don't see every day, that's for sure. I'm gonna say God bless. Happy New Year for everyone. I think it's going to be a very rocky year, and unless you're in Christ Jesus, all bets are off. God bless. Love you in the Lord.